I will now invite Marie-Hélène Rio to present the ocean application at ESA, European Space Agency.
Thank you again, Yanis. And now I will say good afternoon to everyone. So, yes, I will try to give you an overview of the different activities that we have at the European Space Agency in terms of ocean applications. So ocean currents is one of them, but I will talk about different activities. And I want to introduce the EO Science for Society element, which is one of the elements of the Earth Observation Program of the European Space Agency, which is really dedicated to optimizing the use of satellite data to provide new scientific knowledge and new application and to support international responses to our global society challenges. So here I put a number of international and European resolution, high-level treaties, regulations that we, in the frame of these activities, we try to develop dedicated products to support the implementation of these strategies. So as Estelle introduced, and we have seen during this different presentation, in Europe, we rely actually on the most comprehensive Earth observation system in the world with many different satellites in orbit, being the ESA Earth Explorers or the operational Copernicus suite of satellites or the meteorological satellites. And I will go quickly on this because Estelle also highlighted this. On this satellite, we have different sensors. We provide different type of information about our oceans. We have seen ocean color. We have seen sea surface temperature already, salinity, wind, surface roughness, bathymetry, sea level, and ocean currents. And so these are the different parameters that we can observe from space, but only putting them together and using them in synergy also with the in-situ measurement, we are able to develop added value products and to tackle different topics. And I will give you a few examples for those topics on the monitoring of ocean extremes, ocean health and biodiversity, ocean carbon, coastal ocean, and blue economy. So in ESA, what we do is to actually finance projects that are then implemented by our institutes, different research institutes over Europe. And so what I will be showing you now are a few examples of those projects that are, the work is done as the institute. You will always saw the logo of the institute on the top right of the slides, which indicate the teams that have actually been doing the work. And I will start with an example of the monitoring of blue carbon ecosystems. So there are actually three main blue carbon ecosystems. There are the mangroves, the seagrass, or the tidal marshes, and they provide very important services to human beings. I could cite the protection of the marine coast or the sequestration of carbon. And this work has been done using the optical images from Sentinel-2 over the entire record, so more than 6 years of data, now 8 years, to map the extent of intertidal seagrass over the entire European coastline. And so this is the animation that you can see on the right. And with that, we can study the evolution of the seagrass extent from month to month and from year to year to support coastal management and so on. This was at the coast. We have been financing an activity to study the biodiversity in the open ocean, also in the frame of the IC Treaty that you might know aim to protect 30% of the open ocean by 2030 by defining new marine protected areas. And what has been done by the team is to use satellite data to define dynamical seascapes. So we are used to the landscape word, but we have also seascapes in the sea, which are very dynamic because of the currents I have been introducing before. And the seascape, there are regions that we can group by their common optical, chemical, physical oceanographic characteristic, and that may correspond to preferred habitat by marine species. And so it's very important to have an idea of these seascapes and how they evolve in time and space. So this work has been done to develop a long time series of seascapes, daily and 4-kilometer resolution. And it has been used to try to propose a strategy to define marine protected area in this high sea region by taking into account human activity like shipping and fishing and the pollution in terms of CO2 emission and in terms of noise. And the team has proposed a strategy to protect 30% of each seascape, suggesting to divert the marine traffic around the seascape rather than through the seascape to protect the species, while avoiding to disrupt evilly the human activities. So this is a kind of activity that can be supported by the use of satellite data, so for defining marine protected areas. We have studies also looking at the different stressors that impact the ocean health and the marine ecosystem, and the satellite are a unique tool to map them globally. This is a study about marine heat waves, which is a global study that built a global atlas on marine heat waves and tried to also understand how marine heat waves evolve at depth in the ocean, and also studied the impact on marine heat waves of marine ecosystem and biogeochemistry. In this study, this is a very interesting result showing how marine heat wave can impact marine life. And when we think about marine heat waves or about heat waves, we think about summer. But what is very interesting here is that, of course, heat waves can happen also in winter when the temperature is higher than what we expect for a given time of the year, also in winter. And in this study, they have shown that in the northwestern Mediterranean Sea, winter marine heat waves had led to so higher temperature at the surface was impeding the nutrients at depth to go back to the surface. And with this, a certain type of phytoplankton, the larger phytoplankton, could not have the nutrients to grow as usual. And so there were the number of large phytoplankton start to decrease, and the smaller phytoplankton begins to dominate, which has a huge impact on zooplankton and then on the entire food web. So this is a kind of study that we are doing to understand how climate change impact our marine ecosystems. Another important topic that we are tackling since many years through different projects is how we can use satellite data to monitor ocean acidification. We have some in-situ measurement of ocean acidification, but as you can see, it's very sparse in time and space. And on the other hand, we have satellite information provided globally on continuous time frame of different parameters that we have been discussing, like temperature and chlorophyll and salinity. And actually, by combining this information to the in-situ information, the teams have been able to reconstruct global maps of the different carbonate parameters and the pH of the ocean. And this animation shows you the evolution over the last 30 years of the pH value over the global ocean. And you can see the map is going more violet in time, showcasing the global ocean acidification. So we know that both acidification and warming have a strong impact on marine life, and here is also an example of how we can use optical imagery, so here again from Sentinel-2, to actually witness the bleaching of coral reef, which is due in that case to warm temperature. The corals, as you may know, are very colored because they are living in symbiosis with colorful algae. But when the temperature gets warmer, this algae will detach from the coral, and you will putting them also in making them weaker and putting them in danger. And you can see them white, and you can see on these plots from June 8 in 2016 to February in 27, in the specific area in the white box, how the color changed, witnessing the bleaching of this coral reef. So this is also the kind of activity that we have. This, I will not talk too much about it, because Hubert made a detailed explanation of how we can monitor the ocean carbon cycle from space. So this has been done in different projects financed by ESA, and these were actually results from the BICEP project, where satellite data have been used to map all the different pools of carbon and the different processes over a long time period. And this led to the first ever characterization of the biological carbon pump budget from space. We also have a few studies where we use a different satellite sensor in synergy to characterize extreme wind events like tropical cyclone or polar lows. And this in particular is an activity that we have in the Mediterranean Sea, where these extreme storm events called Medicane are actually rare event, 2 or 3 per year, but they are increasing in frequency and intensity due to climate change. And this is only by using different sensors in synergy, like so the visible sensor allows us to see the cloud at the top of the atmosphere, while Sentinel-1 SAR imagery allows to see the wind at the bottom of the atmosphere, and microwave imagery allows to see the vertical structure of those events. And then using altimetry or optical sensor, we are also able to investigate or to monitor the impact of such extreme events on sea level in the coastal area. So this is on the bottom left, or on flooding, which is illustrated here on the bottom right, thanks to Sentinel-2 images. We are also using satellite data to look at eutrophication, coastal eutrophication, and to support the implementation of specific sustainable development goals linked to eutrophication. So eutrophication, as you might know, is the excess of nutrients that is brought by rivers to coastal area and are due by the use of fertilizer in agricultural activities. And this leads to excess of growth of some algae, which can be damaging for human and for the coastal ecosystems. And here it's using ocean color data from the Sentinel-3 satellite. You could see in the Albanian coast moderate, height, and extreme anomalies of chlorophyll, which is a proxy of this eutrophication event. And that can also be used together with other data to calculate indicators for coastal eutrophication. So identify sites with low eutrophication in green, moderate, or high eutrophication in red. We are also using Sentinel-2 data to study coastal erosion. And so this is an example here in the Start Bay, where you have the red bullet, the red circle, so strong erosion, and the blue one, strong accretion. And so you can see how this evolved along the coast. And also on the right, you can see area of accretion between 94 and 2019 in violet, in purple, and area of erosion in red. And final slide, I think, is we have been launching recently also a different project to support the development of a sustainable blue economy. So here, the team will be working on developing new products to support blue economy activities, so in particular fisheries, aquaculture, marine renewable energy, and tourism, while monitoring the impact of these activities on the ocean environment. And if you're interested, there is a poster on this topic, the 491. So to conclude, we rely on an incredible suite of satellites to observe our ocean. And I think with this entire session, you can see the many different applications that can be done from this satellite. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Marie-Hélène. There is indeed a lot of applications from space.